on, homesteaders? It's Captain here. This is Ready, Set, Homestead. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to tear up a deck. So this is the deck that we have here at the house, and I already started this. I actually started that a couple months ago, but we're going to complete tearing up this deck. Once we finish tearing up the deck, I'll be taking all the material over onto the side of my house over here. You can see where I've already started stacking up everything that we have. That's going to be used for later when we're going to be building some raised garden beds in this same area right here. To go ahead and show you some of the things that you're going to need. I know it sounds simple tearing up a deck. There's a lot of stuff though that you really do need. Let me go ahead and show you right here. All right, so I got all my tools ready. Well, the first thing, I like to have some good gloves. So I got these. These are just some Huskies. I think they're deer skin, but they could be something else. I have another pair here, Craftsman, just in case the wife decides she wants to come out and help me with this. You never know. So now my deck, you can see it's pretty dirty. I got a lot of leaves and straw and things like that. Hey, there's the baby bear. So I do have, this is an electric leaf blower. The electric leaf blower we're going to use to get everything cleaned off. Have an extra battery for that. I do have a hammer, might come in handy. Now with my deck, I'm going to need a wrench. So this one goes to about 1.5 inches, which should be good enough when I'm getting the large bolts that hold the joist together. I do have a sledgehammer. Now this is, I think it's 15 pounds. Could be 10, feels like 15. 10 pound, yeah, this is a 10 pound. I guess need to work out, but this one does have a wedged edge here, which I can use to break some boards if I hit it. I also have the sledge. I'll be using this mostly for joists. I do have a 3-foot crowbar here. So not to be confused with a flat bar. Flat bar is completely flat. This is a crowbar. Crowbar is going to give you the most leverage. I'll show you how to use that. I do have a Sawzall if I need it. So this is a Sawzall. So I got the Sawzall with a wood blade. I have a drill, and I have some extra batteries. So I want to show you something first because this is pretty important. I tried this when I first started doing the deck removal. So this deck is pretty old. Now, you'll notice the kind of bits that I have on here. I do have the driver that I need to get those out, but because these are so old and so stripped out, whenever I would try to drill it, the screws would just break. So unfortunately with this, the only way that I can get this out is to rip them up with the crowbar. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the deck cleaned off, and let's start getting these boards off. Electric leaf blowers aren't always the best. They do die pretty quick. I have a gas powered one. I just didn't want to get it out. I'm not looking for perfection, just trying to get a little bit clean. So I said I'm not going to be screwing up each individual screw. That is a way to do it. If you might not have the strength or the leverage or the tools, you can always do that. I think I'm gonna pick different gloves. These ones I got some stain on, so they're a little rough. Yeah, I might just break them in. Let me just go and break these in. So I'm gonna use the crowbar to get these up. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to use a crowbar. I know a lot of you know how to use it, but if you don't, that's okay. Somebody's got to teach you. So this one right here, I think I already got this board up for the most part. Okay, so no, I don't have the whole thing up. So a standard crowbar has two different angles. You have this, which is a 90, and then the other side just has a slight angle on it. So when you're initially starting, you take your crowbar, you wedge it in, and you wiggle it back and forth. Eventually it'll go under, and then you push. Get a little closer to the screws, pull it up. You do this all the way down. Seriously, Porter? Use your car. Go get your car and reverse it. Bring the car to you. So if you're like me, you have kids and you have dogs, so you're not always going to be by yourself. You just got to kind of work around with them. Try not to get too mad, you know, even when they mess stuff up. But let's go ahead and go back here. Be aware of your surroundings, especially if you're working on a rotted deck like I am. You can see that this just falls apart. So unfortunately, that means in certain areas, you can fall through. So be safe, take your time, don't get yourself hurt. But I'm gonna go ahead and rip up this deck. Oh, don't forget that underneath, you might have some nails, so don't stab yourself.
I think I'm worried about what's going to come out of the deck.
Well, I'll get where you're at right there first, where you don't have to stand on the deck.
Like this?
Yeah, just cut all that stuff.
How you gonna come stick your face right next to the blade? You big dummy. You'll be loud. You don't be loud.
So got a lot of pieces that are just rotting and breaking off. I'm gonna put this tarp on the other side and throw those pieces on the tarp, so I don't have to worry about the nails or anything getting in the yard. Don't have to worry about anything about shooting out when I'm mowing the yard or anything like that, or the kids stepping on them. So tarp's always good to keep handy. So I've gotten to a point where I don't have enough room to get full leverage going that direction. So I'm gonna use this block here. I could hammer this end to end like this, hammer it in, and then pull it. But instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this right here to give me some leverage. Just like that. Naturally, when you're dealing with deck removal, it's probably because it's rotted, needs to be replaced. Over here, okay, the whole joist comes up when I pull this board up, because underneath it's just rotted. So this one, hammer get done. There we go. So when you can see this thing is clearly not exactly the safest. I mean, granted, in its position that it was in, it's not horrible, but This is why we're tearing it apart. I'm gonna go ahead and save some battery life. I'm gonna finish tearing the rest of this up and we'll come back when I get to these joists. See you in a second. All right, so calling an audible. We will be removing, oh, there you are. We will be removing the entire deck. However, right now, our biggest thing is getting up this part. That's dangerous. We're having some friends. Where are you? Good Lord. All right, you're back. All right, so we're gonna be having some friends and family over in about a week. So I really wanna get the dangerous part up. I don't know if that's a lawnmower or hope to God that's not his motorcycle. All right, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting all of these joists to remove the dangerous spot right here. That way we can enjoy the yard, we can enjoy a little extra room when friends and family come over, and I don't have to worry about this section right now just because the weather's been so crazy. We finally have a nice, beautiful day. So I wanna make sure I utilize the day that I have to get at least half of it done, because half is better than 3/4. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting this up. Now, a lot of people like to get together a plan and they say, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. I'm not that guy. So I'm just gonna start cutting things and they'll start falling, and then I'll get out a sledgehammer and just go from there. I'm trying to have some fun with this. Got all but this far side over here cut. I feel like now is actually a good time to start sledgehammering. I take that back. Before I do the sledgehammering, this is what the wrench was for. Let me show you. All decks are different, but right here, see those? Ideally, you would want a wrench, not a crescent. That's the perfect size, but I'll just carry those around. So this is what we're gonna be using. To adjust the size on a crescent wrench, you turn this and it will either open or close the size. Which came out pretty easy. So some of these might come out by just pushing them. They're probably not though, just because they have the weight. Now, I don't really know if this makes a difference. I usually take the bottom out first. I feel like that way it just makes it easier. I feel at the top it sags down to the bottom, but that could just be me. And then whenever I have stuff like this, like to save these, because these are not cheap. And you never go. That's already going just with my body weight. So you never know when you're gonna need one. But I got them just in case. I'll probably use them for a project in the future, and I'll just store it just like that. All right, so I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna take all these out, and then we're gonna get the sledge. Yes. I see you. All right, so they make things called punches. They're exactly that. They're just unpunched up. But I have right here and right here. I can't get it all the way through. So I need something like this to stick on here and then hit the end. Now this is not ideal because this is plastic and then this is metal. This is just a bit driver. It's like a screwdriver that you put variable bits inside, but it'll work. I also have about 5 of these, so I'm not really worried about it. But the way that you do this, because I can't hit it any farther, and it's too stuck to pull out. So I place this on here. There we go. Got it. Always watch when you set your arm. You're not setting your arm on a nail. I got most of the bolts out. There's, come over here, a little bit of light. So I got most of the bolts out. There's one bolt, should come out when I'm using the sledge. So now, once again, you could be super structured and take them out step by step. I'm not that guy. So we're just gonna start taking a sledgehammer to this thing. See what we can mess up and see if we can have some fun. Pretty much done. Got a big pile here. Got a buddy to help me with the trailer. Take all that to the dump. I still have these pieces here. I got this guy, some various other posts that I'll have to dig. Whoa, hey, there you are. I'll have to dig those up. I'll be able to clean this out. I'll rake it all up. When it comes to demolition, the biggest thing is doing it safely. So I wasn't wearing eye protection because I wear glasses. That doesn't mean I couldn't have worn goggles. Most of the time when I work outside, I'll actually wear contacts with safety glasses. You know, I prefer just gloves. I do have this as a long sleeve in case I need. I like to wear jeans and boots. You saw my wife out here. Wouldn't really recommend wearing tights when you're doing construction, but she's comfortable. And just if anybody's been wondering the whole time, these things, so these were actually pool noodles. And while I had done the initial part of the construction, we had a party here and I had a bunch of those nails that were sticking up. So I bought a bunch of pool noodles, cut them in half, and stuck these over the nails so that it was a bright color. The kids could see it. I told the kids not to go near the pool noodles. You know, red was stay away. They've just been out in the sun. But as far as how to tear apart a deck, hope you learned something. Hope it helps you out. Be safe. And I'll go ahead and show you the end result. All right, so I finished up the first portion of the deck demolition. You can see I cut off a straight part right there. Let me have this area, just kind of opened up the yard. Now I still have a few things like this to get out, but I use these pavers as a semi walkway because this area gets kind of muddy. Eventually I'm gonna get these trees out and I'll finish the rest of the deck. But I did use my Sawzall to cut up a lot of the pieces. Took everything on the side of my house over here, and I got kind of a trash pile growing until I can take it to burn it. But I have these boards here. I cut up a bunch of them into about 5-6 foot pieces just so they're a little bit easier to move. But I mean, that's it. There's no right way, there's no wrong way to, you know, demo a deck or really anything. It's just a safe way and a not safe way. So make sure you're safe and, you know, have some fun and I'll catch you next time. This is Captain from Ready Set Homestead.